Hey, everybody, welcome to yet another panel for the day. And this one's incredibly special. And I'm honored to have both Ryan Stegman and Felix Liu in on this one. So before I sign out, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time today. I know as schedules go, you probably work every day just like I do, and there's no break time. So being able to take 50 minutes out of your day really means a lot to me. And especially Felix, I know you've been really a workaholic for me to make sure that these shows come off really well. And so I just wanted you both to know how much I appreciate it. And I'm going to let you guys take it away. And I'll see Felix at the end of this one. We're going to do that claim sale.
Yep. Thanks,
right.
Thanks, Bill.
You're...
Hey, Ryan.
How you doing?
Shoes on the other foot this time.
Yeah.
You're in my world now.
I see I didn't realize there's a bunch of comments here.
Yeah. So I've done one of these before with Ryan, but on his home turf. And he ambushed me with Chip Zdarsky.
Chip ambushed us. We both got ambushed. I did let him in. I will say that.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, you're not. It's not the same level of victimhood here.
Yeah.
But no, this is fun. I've been looking forward to this. I've done these panels on Bill's Comic Art Live show since last year.
Mm-hmm.
First one was with Trad. If you saw the last panel, I'm just going to go over it. The first one I did was Trad. The second was with James Heron, and the reason for those because both guys just don't do shows, they don't do panels, and
mm-hmm.
that'd be very exciting. Then so for this third one, following that trend, I wanted to get Ryan Otley because another guy, doesn't really do panels, but for sheer star power, Mr. Ryan Stegman might be tough to beat. Is that fair to say, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always talking to everybody all the time, so.
Yeah, so this is nothing new for you, and people have get a chance to watch you pretty regularly because you have your own YouTube channel.
Yeah,
you're pretty visible, pretty public.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really get a chance to talk about your original art much, and
mm-hmm.
how much opportunity for original art collectors to just to nerd out about original art. So
mm-hmm.
this is that opportunity. I want to say first off, lead off the same way I led off with Ryan Otley, which is to wish you a happy anniversary. You've been with Felix Comic Art now 4 years.
Oh, really? That's great. So that was like coincided with Venom pretty much.
Pretty crazy how fast time flies. You actually joined us before Venom launched, but we didn't debut on site until Venom. And so I'll just share a little history with the audience. Ryan was already a pretty big deal. He had been a Marvel young gun.
Mm-hmm.
That's a designation by Marvel for the artist they believe will be sort of the next generation of superstars. And he'd worked on Marvel's biggest titles. He did a relaunch of Wolverine, but he was primarily known as a Spidey guy. He worked on the flagship ASM for a stint, but also did runs on Scarlet Spider, Superior Spider-Man, which I think the fans that was probably the fan favorite,
mm-hmm.
and also a ASM sister series or kind of a spin-off series called Amazing Spider-Man: Renew Your Vows.
Right.
Pretty decent runs on all of those. So you were already a Spidey guy, and as we talked about in the Otley panel beforehand, I mean that's that's top of the mountain when
mm-hmm.
it comes to Marvel. You told me, I'm not doing Spidey anymore. I'm going to be doing Venom, which I didn't know any better. I thought that was kind of a step down,
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like it felt like a demotion. But
right.
You told me that you were more excited about that than anything else,
mm-hmm.
and that's all I needed to hear. Because when I hear an artist say that, I know there's going to be some kick-ass art. When an artist is passionate and excited about a project, that art's going to be probably some of the best stuff this guy has done in his career.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I couldn't wait to see it. But then you told me oh yeah, I'm working with an inker.
Hmm.
And that's when I felt like I was excited, but now I'm like, uh, I prefer artists who ink themselves generally.
Hmm.
But now you're gonna have to split the take with an inker. I felt kind of bad for you, um, which is all to say that I was completely wrong on all counts. Venom was not a step down. As a matter of fact, it was a major step up.
Hmm.
I just didn't know.
Right.
Also, working with an inker was a blessing. You
Hmm.
know, when the inker's JP Mayer. So I want to take this opportunity to give JP his props
Yeah.
because his inking is, chef's kiss.
Hmm.
He does not have to ink like that. Like ink
Right.
every little bit of it. No shortcuts. I mean, the thing is, it's completely done, and art looks great. I mean, he really makes the pencils shine, and I think
Hmm.
you guys are going to go down as one of those special teams. Like Byrne Austin or Lee Williams. Um, you know,
Hmm. I mean, I hope so, but
yeah. So, but you need a partner to pull that
uh-huh.
off,
Right.
and JP is proven to be up to the task. And so, yeah, I went from being a skeptic to being an absolute believer. And no, look, when you ink yourself, that's still my favorite, with the caveat that you fully ink yourself.
Right.
Like give it your all. And you just don't have the capability to do that within this monthly schedule.
Hmm.
So to have a guy like JP, able to do some pretty heavy lifting there
Yeah,
is an absolute blessing. So
for
again,
sure.
you know, uh, JP, you're fantastic. So we kicked off with Venom, and as we got closer to release, um, it really started hitting me that this thing might be bigger than the Spidey stuff you were working on. Because the buzz on it was unbelievable.
Right.
And that first issue I think was like a massively ordered issue.
Hmm.
And when we released that first issue, we priced it accordingly, like higher than any of your art had ever been priced before, uh, because I felt it deserved it. And on the day of the drop, every single page sold,
Yeah.
including the cover, which was a record for you at the time. I think it was the first time you broke 5 figures for a cover.
Hmm.
I think nothing had come close, so that was really a big deal at the time. And it's been off to the races ever since. Like
Hmm.
we have sold every single page of your Venom run, 20 some odd issues, whatever it was.
Much to Donnie's chagrin.
Yeah, sorry, Donnie. Uh, but congratulations, fans. Like I tell people, like maybe some people don't really believe me. Like when we drop an issue, we make every single page available to you guys. Like we don't allow any cherry picking of pages. Like even Donnie Cates, who frankly probably deserves it, but it's just I just try to be consistent with it. Like he wants a page. Unless we sell the issue complete, every page is available. So yeah,
Hmm.
much to Donnie's chagrin, because a lot of those issues have sold complete, and if they don't, when we do the drop, all the pages fly. So follow that up with a line wide event called Absolute Carnage, and you sort of got to work Carnage into your resume too. So now you've
Right.
got Spidey, you got Venom, and you got Carnage, and that was the big event of 2019. Big Marvel event, 5 issues. That first issue was like double sized. I think all the issues were bigger than a normal issue, and 150 pages or whatever it was, and the covers, and every single one of those sold. Uh, and that was followed by sort of the event to wrap everything up, at least for now. What everything was leading up to,
Hmm.
Black. the big Marvel event for 2020. You guys had introduced the new big bad villain Null in Venom, and brought him back for King in Black, the sort of big blowout, the Infinity War of Stegman and Kate's run. And the crazy thing with that one is that entire series sold complete to one collector. Now, that's not something we would typically do. Look, I understand some collectors weren't too happy about that. And I don't blame you, but there was a very specific reason we did that. Number one, it is a nice feather in Ryan's cap that there is a collector who bought every single page of a run of a series. But more than that, this collector has plans for a museum. Very serious collector, and a lot of you have been speculating and trying to figure out who it is. I don't think any of you will figure it out. But comic art is just one of the art genres that he plans to showcase in the museum. But he is a big believer in Stegman, Kate's Venom, and sort of King in Black is the culmination of all those years of working on it. So anyway, that catches everyone up basically up till now. We'll get into some of the newer stuff in a sec. But yeah, congratulations on all the success, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Obviously adds a whole level of excitement to Felix Comic Art. We weren't really a big two group, but now we happen to get like the biggest big two guys. So, we have fans and collectors of indie art, but also of big two art. And like I said, it really doesn't get any bigger than Ryan Stegman at Marvel right now. So, yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I don't know how you do it. I always say that, but the way that you've kind of gotten my market to where it's at is pretty impressive.
It's actually, there's really no secret. It's not even that hard. It all comes down to the art. Good quality art. Show it off to people, expose them to it, let them see it, and the collectors they'll figure it out. The market always knows, and collectors will decide for themselves. And I think we do have a good track record of high quality art. Obviously my job is to promote, is to hype the artist and the art. But if there was no substance to it, if it wasn't backed up by this amazing art, wouldn't mean anything. Then I would be a guy who's just full of shit. But it actually makes it easy because the art's gorgeous. Hang on a second. I'm going to be getting your art to show off here in a moment. But yeah, why don't you, how has it been working with Donnie and the last few years doing this giant, this giant run?
Well, it's been hectic, that's for sure. But it kind of seems crazy now because, now we're working on a creator-owned project and things have kind of, in that sense have slowed down where like I'm kind of in charge of my schedule. And, I don't like when we were doing Venom and everything, it felt like I was working every day of the week, so it's kind of nice to be off of it for now. But I also kind of miss the having the books come out and kind of getting the response from people and everything. But yeah, like working with Donnie is obviously great for both of us. We both love working together, and it's been a huge for my career that we kind of blew this thing up at when we did. You kind of brought up that, you thought it was a step down, which is funny because you didn't tell me that. You kept that to yourself. But I knew as soon as I talked to Donnie, that this was going to be massive just from the story he was pitching me. And even if it wasn't massive, I just loved it so much that, I was going to have a blast drawing it. So I guess I feel, lucky that it took off the way it did, but at the same time, like, I was ready for it. It was an awesome series, and we're kind of continuing that with Vanish right now.
All right. Well, let's before we get into Vanish, I just want to say too, when you see the art in a comic published and colored, it'll all look fine. I mean, especially color covers up a lot, but when you're holding the original art in your hands, that's when you really get to examine the art. And it feels like you have leveled up with Venom, starting with Venom, because I got a big stack of your older art, your more vintage art, earlier art, especially art. And you could tell, like, you had to pencil and you had to ink, and there were certain shortcuts you had to take. And I feel like it level up sort of suggests that you got better. And I think I don't know if that's true, but you got to show off what you could do. And again, I'm going to give credit to JP. I think JP maybe allowed you that freedom. But anybody who has gotten the art, the pencils and the inks together, can see for themselves as well. I mean, did you go into Venom like, okay, I'm really gonna kill this, or did it just sort of happen, as you were working with JP?
I think it was the addition of JP. I mean, I do think I also leveled up. I think that's true. I think that if you kind of like follow what I do, I'm, so obsessive that I think that I'm, constantly improving, and I kind of improved to a point, in Venom. But at the same time, like, when Marvel told me that they wanted me to have an inker, I even kind of bristled at it. And, CB made some good points. He was kind of like, you tend to change what you're doing from page to page. Because, I would be working on something and I'd be like, this is taking too long. Like, for example, the Venom 11 cover where he's up on that, perched on the building. I tried to ink that like JP does. And in order to do that cover took me 3 days, which, was just unsustainable. So
yeah,
once
I wish I could show it, but
right.
That to me was probably my favorite Venom piece. And I think by now everyone understands I have all the respect in the world for JP, and I think your art looks better, than not with JP on it. But when you're able to, I guess, devote 3 days to a piece, that was like the ultimate Stegman.
Yeah, and again, like I really was just trying to imitate him. I just wanted to see what it was like, but I don't know how. I mean, it's crazy too, because I'll send him something and the next day I'm like getting it back, and I'm like, how did he pull this off? Sometimes I'm like, is he spending more time on the pages than I am? I don't even know. But yeah, so CB was pointing out to me that I kind of, a thing that I know I do, which is I'll get bored of the way that I'm inking and I'll just change everything all of a sudden. And then, so in an issue, you don't know which version of me you're going to get. And then this, having JP there, allowed me to kind of focus on, staying the same course for a long period of time, which I hadn't done before. And that was huge for me, because I think that I kept progressing linearly rather than like, throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and trying to figure out, what I wanted to do. And then, I guess too, like the way that I look at it is that I've had other inkers in the past and they did, great jobs. I've had like, Morales, and I've had, Jay Lyston and everything, but there's something about what JP does that is how I see it in my head. And so just having that security blanket and knowing that he's not going to skimp on anything ever, just kind of, it allowed me to be freer with what I was doing.
Well, I hope you guys have longer partnership ahead of you.
Yeah, we're staying together. Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't give up JP for anything. Anytime I see him inking somebody else, I get like squirrely. Like, hey, you know, you're
It's actually good for JP too, because
Yeah.
at least in terms of original art sales,
Mhm.
I think that's sort of the magic combo for him as well. You know, it's
Right.
just every page is sold, so
Mhm.
it's been a win-win for across the board.
Right.
Um, so here's something I want to talk about. You started Venom with Donnie, and I think it was in issue 3 you introduced Null.
Mhm.
Okay, so we knew that was an introduction of a new character, but there are lots of new characters. You never know which ones are really going to hit.
Mhm.
Well, Null has hit,
Right.
and at the time, you know, someone bought that issue complete, and congratulations, because that is, I mean, just to get a page from that issue with Null would be huge. Some guy owns that entire issue,
Mhm.
and we priced it high at the time, but as it turns out, just a fraction of probably what it'd go for now because of Null. Like those comics, graded, it's considered kind of a key issue now. Uh, did you have any idea? Like I realized now that Marvel is sort of setting up Null to be like a Thanos type, this
Mhm.
giant villain that'll affect the entire, the entire lineup. Um, the entire Marvel roster, one of those guys. But how did that come about?
I had no idea because I mean I have like a roster of characters that I've created now for Marvel that I have, my special character agreement with Marvel for, and they just kind of came and went. Even a lot of the Inhuman stuff that I did, like there wasn't sort of this hoopla over it. So when we went to create Null, I felt like no pressure. I was just like, this is kind of I basically before it came out, before I put him down on the page, I just had like a drawing of his head like that. I was like, this is what it'll look like, and Donnie was like, yeah, that's what I want him to look like. And then I was like, I'll just draw him in the book, and I did, and I just kind of like designed his costume on the page because I mean I had a pretty strong idea of what I wanted him to look like, but I hadn't really like taken the time. But anyway, that's I just didn't think much of it. I just thought, we'll see what happens, and then yeah, it immediately went crazy, and it was honestly like there was no for. I actually think I would have been scared if I would have thought about how big of a deal it would have been, but I had no idea going in. Like I was just kind of doing what I normally do and hoping for the best, and then it came out obviously, and people went nuts, and I was getting like. There was, you get like speculators. I won't name names, but I have a few in my life that will contact me and they'll be like asking weird questions about it, and I'm like, I'll start to realize, oh, something big is happening that they need to know about, and that was definitely happening, and I for all I knew, Null was going to be. I mean, I knew that we had a plan, but if he comes in kind of like just as people are just like not that impressed, then we're not going to end up doing King in Black and using him throughout this whole thing. So yeah, it was wild. No idea it was going to be like that at all.
Yeah, for the comics, obviously, uh, a big part of it is speculator driven, but still, for the comics, as I understand it, the Venom #3 issue that is, it's usually it always goes first printing is like the most important, is top dog, is the one everyone wants. But apparently for Venom #3, it's one of the later reprint issues that reprints the interior splash of Null on the cover is sort of the prize now, is sort of the get, the one that those Null collectors want. So yeah, I mean, since I've been selling art, we've sold a lot of art with first appearances. And in case you didn't know, first appearances are now all the rage,
right?
With especially a younger group of collectors,
right.
And a lot of that is brought in from slabs. But huge emphasis on first appearances, and we've sold a lot of first appearances. Like you said, you've actually done a lot of first appearances yourselves, and most of them, probably won't really amount to much, but if you know, the crazy thing is we have sold the first appearance art for Null and also Cosmic Ghost Rider, which has been, you know, those are probably the two biggest new Marvel characters the last 10, 20 years, you know.
Yeah, there's a common thread there. Donny Cates.
Donnie. So how's it been working with Donnie? You've been working, I think, like exclusively with Donnie since Venom, right?
Yeah, I mean, we love it. Like, you know, he and I hang out all the time. You know, we go to shows together. When we started the creator owned, he actually flew down here and we just, like, you know, hung out in my office for a week or whatever and figured out the story. And you know, we talk all the time. I mean, I'm getting texts from him as we're on here right now that I'm trying to ignore so that I can, you know, focus in on this. But you know, we're just constantly talking. And you know, the cool thing is there's like sort of a flow of ideas where, I mean, you know, I'm not going to say that I have, you know, his big ideas, but I'm definitely allowed to throw in, you know, my ideas here and there, and he will take it and run with it. You know, he always, or like, you know, I just turned in some pages the other day and he was writing back and he's like, hey, I didn't write this one thing that you did, but that was awesome and that's perfect. And, you know, all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of like, we're always on the same page. I think we're influenced by the same stuff. We like the same stuff. He writes the stuff that I would write if I was better at writing, you know? So, yeah, it's a pretty perfect relationship.
Okay, so let's talk about the new project, Vanish. That is creator owned.
Right.
You're moving. I mean, you've been with Marvel forever, so this is your first non-Marvel project in how long?
Oh my God! I mean, I only did one project that ever before that wasn't published by Marvel, which was Midnight Kiss, which I did for, you know, a British publisher. But yeah, I've been there since I was 23 years old, I think, and I'm 40 now.
Wow.
So yeah, it is weird. I don't think much of it, especially because I'm still doing covers over there and stuff. So I feel still plugged in and you know, like a part of everything. But that is weird to think about, how long I've been there for sure.
Well, you know, so let's real quick, Manish. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Give us the basic premise, and also, you know, when's it coming out? How is it being distributed?
Okay, so yeah, Vanish is basically like you know, it's so you always have these chosen one stories, and you know, it's kind of the chosen one who, in this magic world, who was this basically a child star. He was, you know, lauded for, you know, saving their magic universe or whatever, and now he's older, and those people that he saved the world from are just out there in the world, and he's kind of a mess now. He, you know, because he was, like I said, like a child star, and he's starting to hunt down the people that, you know, got away, and kind of losing his mind in the process. We say it's very much like a Harry Potter meets Inglorious Bastards type deal, which I think sums it up pretty well. There's a lot of X-Men type elements to it as well. The cool thing is we've kind of created an entire universe that, you know, we're going to be able to spin off into other projects. So, you know, I should say, you can watch this all being made on Substack at klcpress.com. We have a newsletter where you'll see pages, you know, as they come in. You'll see all kinds of, you know, the art as we do it, stuff where Donnie and I talk about the project and all that. And you know, when the book comes out, you will get the book on there. And we're already starting to do some spin-off stuff. So we have my friend Kenny Porter is writing a Vanish spin-off already that's going to be on the Substack. All kinds of fun stuff. So, and it will also be coming out from Image Comics, and I think that we're aiming for June or July for the release of Vanish #1 through those companies. And then, you know, obviously, if you subscribe on the Substack for the yearly subscription fee, then you get exclusive covers to it and all that.
Okay, sounds like a lot of big plans with Vanish.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, yeah.
you're kind of the opposite of Ryan Otley. Like Ryan Otley, conquered indie comics.
Right.
Now at Big Two, you've conquered Marvel, and now you've set your sights on indie and your own Image book.
Right. That's been like, that's my ultimate dream was always to have my own property that I create from the ground up. And drawing Spider-Man is cool and definitely a career goal of mine. But I did that, and so this was this is the mountaintop for me, is to create something, and hopefully it's sustainable. The people like it, and we can do a lot of it.
Real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt. Bill, if you're watching, I texted you, or I emailed you. There it is. Wanted to show.
There you go.
Thank you, Bill.
That's Vanish #1. That's the cover.
Vanish #1. So is this your Spawn, Ryan?
I mean, of course, obviously everything I do, sort of harkens back to the early Image days. That's the thing that got me into comics. That's the thing that sort of changed my life as a, 13-year-old, and I've just kind of always gravitated towards those things, and always sort of wanted to do that myself. And, I think that Image is pretty awesome for what they do with the way that they set up their deal, where, you can basically, it doesn't cost that much. If they approve your book, it doesn't cost that much to get it made. And they're not, there's nothing predatory about their business model or anything. So it's going to be really fun to have it come out through there.
So that is the art, pencils by creator Ryan Stegman, inks by,
JP
extraordinaire JP Mayer. Get on my newsletter at felixcomicart.com to hear all about when that art becomes available. There will be complete issues available too, as usual. So shaping up to be a pretty big deal. Look, I shamelessly promote and hype you guys,
mm-hmm.
but I have never, said that you are the new Todd McFarlane. Other collectors, other fans have, and I can kind of see a parallel there. Is that, was Todd one of your guys?
Oh, he was the guy. I had sort of a weird path into this, which is I lived in Pennsylvania from 3rd to 5th grade, where I had a friend who had a bunch of comic books, and I didn't really have access to them. How if you don't have a store near you, then how do you get them? And he had the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man stuff, and it was like, I looked at that and it was like electric, and at the time I didn't know who drew it. And then a few years later, we moved to Michigan, and I went into a comic book store and I bought Spawn because that looked awesome to me. And then I got super obsessed with Spawn. So I had been obsessed with this Spider-Man book who I didn't know who drew it. Then I got obsessed with Spawn, and I was like, I want to go back and see those Spider-Man issues. And lo and behold, there's the same artist who, I had gotten into back then. And so that was really, really a cool experience to kind of come across this stuff twice, and both times be like, what is this? How can I get more of this? And, get really into it.
Okay. I'm keeping my eye on the clock. Okay. Because we have some art we're going to claim, but I want to show off some new art first. So again, those of you who follow me regularly know I have a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/FelixComicArt. I have been doing a unboxing art show where I open up the packages that the artists send me, and we all get to, see and enjoy this art for the first time. And there are a lot of surprises that I'm not expecting either. This latest package I got from Ryan, not able to do on the show because I had to open it up for the art that we're going to be claiming in a second. So I'm going to show off some of the pieces he included in here, so you guys get to see it too. I guess some people have said, oh, you can kind of seal it back up and pretend to open it again, but nah, I don't want to do that. I want to keep it authentic.
Right.
These are commissions, and thank you everyone who have been so patient waiting on these commissions. It's actually been over a year. We did take a really long list early 2020. We want to try to get as many people on the list as we could, because Ryan wasn't going to be doing a lot of shows, wasn't planning on doing a lot of shows, and we just wanted to, make as many fans happy as possible. But, clearly the guy is busy and he's not slacking. I mean, he's putting out all these comics and he's doing these commissions as he can. Now, like I offer everyone, if you don't want to wait, no problem. Let me know. Happy to give you a refund. Nobody's taking me up on it because, quite frankly, the art's great. It's worth waiting for. The rate was really good because it's going to go up next time, just based on the demand, and you're also a function of your available time. And but even bigger yet, a lot of these things have been getting turned into covers. Now, I obviously can't guarantee that any of these will get turned into covers, let alone all of them, but a bunch of them have. So, even more incentive to wait. And I'm going to show you the latest batch that Ryan has sent me. You can enjoy. Here's a Phoenix. And you know what, Bill? You can split the screen so we can see Ryan too. Yeah, thanks. Who's this guy?
Nightcrawler.
Oh, Nightcrawler. Okay. Oh yeah, Bamf in the back. There you go, Nightcrawler. Really cool. Don't get to do DC guys too often. There's the Penguin.
No, that was super fun. I was super excited to do that one.
Yeah. So, dare I ask, any possibility of DC in the future?
I mean, if they back up the Brinks truck. I love working for Marvel, and I love doing creator owned, and I'd be happy doing those two things for the rest of my life, But,
Okay.
I would draw Batman in a heartbeat. So
You hear that, Jim? You can get this guy.
Jim's watching, right?
Of course he is. Who's Joker, right?
Yeah.
There you go. I love this one. I don't even particularly care for the character, but I think this is so great.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, did you see the little Disney Plus trailer?
No, I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, it's really great. And here's something.
That's I don't know who that is.
It's great. Good choice. And
Superman?
speaking of Spawn,
There you go.
and last but not least, I'm sorry, Green Goblin. I also want to show off a couple of covers, so people know what to look out for. So we're going to be doing an all cover drop. I think we're going to have enough pieces in December. This is what you have. This is what you have to look forward to. You did a Hulk cover for Ryan Otley's Hulk.
Yeah, that's a funny one. That what happened was I was supposed to do a Hulk cover, and I had two different people from Marvel ask me about it and not realize it. And so I did two Hulk covers, and they were like, "Oh, we only needed one." And then they're like, "But, we'll make this one happen too, because now we have two covers."
It's just a Ryan Stegman variant, of course, no brainer. And by the way, this is a rare Stegman pencil, Stegman piece, all Stegman art right there. Look, as awesome as JP is, for the real hardcore Stegman collectors, it's nice to have both. It's nice to have Stegman, JP, and also Stegman. So here's another Stegman. Here is Frog Thor.
Throg.
Yeah, Throg. So this is a giant hit too for Nick Klein. We've sold every single page of Thor. So just like your Venom,
Mm-hmm.
but all the Thor covers are going too, and here you get a Stegman one. And I'm always gonna love this. Vader.
Yeah.
All Stegman. And here are the pencils to a piece. And again, you can just check out how tight these pencils are. I haven't gotten the inks from JP yet, but I expect I will. For a new Sabretooth, #1.
Oh yeah.
Here.
That one came out cool.
Look how gorgeous those pencils are. I'm a guy who has, like, I guess before I really knew any better, I would have said, oh, I like pencils and inks on the same board. And, look, I still do, but, it's really cool to have them separated like this too. I just say you ought to keep them together. I mean, that's the one thing that's driving me a little nuts is, when we sell them together, and people have been breaking them up. They need to be kept together, guys. I guess this is the other whole cover you're talking about.
Oh no, wait, which other one did I do? Oh, I did the Venom 3 homage also.
So you got a sneak peek at what Ryan's up to with Hulk. He's adding a little twist. This little this armor. All right. And yeah, this piece. This is a great piece. I think I can't remember. No, we have not shown the inks for this. But I've gotten a lot of requests for this because you previewed it on social media. It's this like all Ghost Rider, like every single Ghost Rider. This is very similar to the Spider-Man piece we just showed for Otley. That's just jam-packed with all the different characters. This is kind of the Ghost Rider equivalent, but by Ryan Stegman. So Ryan, what is this used for?
It's a promo thing. I guarantee they'll use it as a cover. It was for the 75th or 50th anniversary of Ghost Rider. And that's this year, and so they wanted me to do a promo piece, and they're gonna make posters out of it and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah. So speaking of promo art, you did promo art for Marvel event this year, 2021. So you were the key guy for the 2019 Marvel event, which was Absolute Carnage. You were the key guy for the 2020 Marvel event, which was King in Black. The 2021 event is not based on your stuff, but you did the early art for it. That was called Dark Ages.
Oh, right, yeah.
And so it's kind of out of continuity, but all these things that are out of continuity, once they become popular, they become in continuity. And I can see this happening with this as kind of sort of steampunk version of these Marvel characters. And you sent me the first 5 images, and it was all labeled promo art. And you told me, because you're pretty on top of these. I mean, you said, look, this is going to be the first appearances of these guys, these versions of these guys. And I said, okay, but what is this for? And he said, well, right now it's promo art, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be using them for covers. So that's okay. Well, you know what? Let's wait until they're covers before we make them available, because covers still carry more of a premium than if it was just sold as promotional art. So let's wait. And you were very patient. I mean, it was I don't know, like 6 months before the book was actually released. But once they were released and they did turn out to be covers, we sold them as the covers. And one of them featured Miles Morales as Venom.
Mm-hmm.
First Miles Morales Venom. Now, by the time that cover was printed, I think it was issue 5, the Miles Morales Venom character had showed up in an earlier issue. So it wasn't, that cover wasn't necessarily the first appearance, but, I still called it first appearance because it appeared first. It was the promo art. And I think, at least in terms of the hobby, we've determined like that is the first appearance. So there was they call Sandman's first appearance in an ad that predated Sandman #1. So in a similar vein, I think the market will decide as the first appearance. Now, if I'm wrong, if I got that wrong, then let me know. Someone bought it, I'll take it back. But as of right now, we call it the first appearance. So
right.
Okay. Let's see. It's 12:45. Bill, should we go to the claim part now?
If you want to, I think it'll probably only take about 5 minutes. It won't take very long to claim the pieces that we've set up. So if you want to go another 5 or 10 minutes,
so that we can answer some questions.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
Right. Let's see. Here's a question: is that Danny Ketch or Johnny Blaze from King's Portal?
They're both on there. every Ghost Rider ever is on that cover. But in the front mid center is Johnny Blaze, and then just to his, depending on which way you're looking at it, but just to his right, above his right shoulder is Danny Ketch.
Here's a question from Shirley Jacob. I guess this is directed at me. How many people buy complete issues do you think end up piecing them out? Well, Shirley, we are coming up on 200 complete issues sold. And to date, I don't know of a single one that's been broken up. I think people who buy them complete, want them to complete. They pay a lot for them, and it doesn't really pay to break them up. I don't think people are buying them out of speculation. I think they're really buying them because they want, as I've always called it, like their own personal artist edition. Here's another question from Shirley Jacob. This one's for you. Do you think Null has a deep voice register or sounds more like a chipmunk Roger Rabbit tune?
Oh man, not like that. I always think of him more as like probably a deep register. He's a god. He's got to have some sort of, I think a lot of it, I guess kind of sometimes I think of it as like a Voldemort sort of snaky voice, but that'd be too on the nose. So we'll go with deep voice.
Okay, here's a question from Lucky Dog Gaming. What's the challenge of drawing a nearly completely black character like Venom? Do you ever start on a black background?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's actually because I use so much black in my work anyway, I'm pretty well equipped to do it. I wouldn't say it's too difficult. I think that you just have to figure out how to separate it from the background, so you have to find, ways to do that. But if you look at, I'm not going to go through all the ways that you can do it, but there's plenty.
Okay, here's a question from ABZ Comics. For self-owned projects, do you like to get ahead of good few issues before release of first issue so that there is a good time period to do subsequent issues at a lesser deadline pace?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm almost done with issue 2, and we're not even soliciting for quite a while now. So by the time that the book comes out, I think I'll have like 6 issues done.
Separate question for me. Why wait until June or July 2023 to actually release it?
I think that there's currently supply chain issues and stuff, because we could have put it out a little sooner, but this is just kind of what Image asked us to do, because paper's at a premium right now, and they have other books coming out, and this just kind of made sense for their release schedule. And I don't mind it because I like the whole Substack thing where you're seeing the creation of it. So people on there will get it sooner than it comes out at Image. They'll get a digital copy of it before the issues come out at Image. So it's kind of coming out in 2 different ways, and let the hype build up. I guess I'm not too concerned about it.
You're not in any rush.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Here's a completely random question. Is that a Peter Burrow Pete's hat? I love Steve Y. I heart Steve Y.
This is a
Phillies,
Philadelphia Phillies hat. Yeah. Like I said, I lived in Pennsylvania from 3rd to 5th grade, and that was the years that they had Kruk and Dykstra and Dalton and Mitch Williams and all those guys. So I kind of have an affection for that team, and I saw this hat and it was just kind of nostalgic, and I wanted it.
You have nostalgia for Mitch Williams?
Well, by that time, I think I lived back in Michigan, so I was a full-blown Tigers fan again, and I just kind of watched that one from the sidelines. But
what's your favorite thing about Vanish so far?
Well, I think that he's a cool design, honestly. And my goal when creating this book was I kept telling Donnie, we have to have that front and center character who has a unique look that is signature to that character. And it took a lot of iterations, and we finally got it. And now it's just I think that he looks great. I've been getting we're getting covers from other artists, and they, anytime anybody else draws him, I'm like, you know what, I think I got it right. I think he's a cool looking character, and that's something that I was really intent upon.
Here's a question from an original art. Here's a true original art question from Steve Adeletto. What is your stance on the writer signing art?
I think that's fine. It's up to the person that buys it. They can do whatever they want with it. Once it's out of my hands, do whatever you want with it. Use it as toilet paper for all I care.
Don't say that.
Well, nobody would. I mean, it's too expensive. But I have the digital files. I can go in and look at them if I really want to, see something that in its original form. So again, like whatever they want to do.
I don't think you'll know the answer to this, but I'll ask it from King's Port Cal. Will Null appear in the Sony/MCU?
I have no knowledge of if he will, but I did feel like they kind of left that door open at the end of the last Venom movie. So I would be absolutely thrilled if he is. But like I said, like I'm not in any of that stuff. Like
it seems kind of like natural though, right? If they're going to be doing their, Avengers / Endgame type of thing with all the Spidey, characters.
I think he'd look great on screen, and I think that'd be really cool. But it seemed like they kind of left the door open for two different paths, and so we'll see. But that would be a pretty big thrill to tell people that I created that character, and he's on the
last question before we get to the claim part. Do you think Substack is a sustainable business model?
I have thoughts about the model. That I won't bore you guys with the details, but I think that there definitely is sustainability, and we're all working on figuring out how to make it worth it for everybody. We do the live streams. I'm giving away sketches every week to people that subscribe, and there's you're getting the book and all this other stuff. But I'm not going to go necessarily. I think that there's ways to make it sustainable, and we're exploring that. And I guess right now it's in the subscribers' hands if they think they're getting their money's worth. But I think that Donnie and I are going above and beyond and trying to make it worth it for them.
All right, awesome. Ryan, hey, Bill, I think we can get to the claim part. We can leave Ryan on. I mean, he's not going anywhere. So. So hang on a second. Ryan created these specifically for this event. Thanks so much, Ryan. Bill, we try to do something fun, try to do something special. Didn't do as many as Otley did, but still, the guy's he's doing Marvel, he's doing his creator own, he's doing Substack, he's doing his own live streams. So very, very happy to have gotten these. I guess so. The same rules as before. Send me the email. That was Bill's suggestion to keep the
correct.
chat.
We'll keep it out of the chat. Just send. You've got Felix's email address on screen, and so what we want you to do is when we pull up a lot, and we're not going to pull them up in order like we did with Otley's. There's only 4 pieces to choose from tonight, so I will pull them up in a random order when that artwork appears on the screen.
I'm going to hold my finger up, Bill, for which one I want to go first.
Oh, you want to? I kind of mixed up the order, but I'll do whatever you want.
First.
We'll do 3 first. So see, but now everybody knows what one we're going to pull up, so they're all ready to hit send on their emails. See, that's why. Okay, yeah. Let me do the choosing, so that way they at least have to type the lot number in there for these 4 pieces. They'll know what the 4th one is when we get to that. But in your subject, put Stegman lot and the number, and make sure you got the right lot number. The first person who gets the email into Felix will reply to them right away, letting them know that they got it. Anybody who doesn't get a reply, you didn't get it. As soon as Felix gets that email, he'll let us know that the art is claimed, so we can move on to the next one and wrap up our panel today.
Someone just claimed for you. It doesn't count. Sorry.
See, I told you. That's why we don't put the numbers out first. I knew
right.
we had to do it this way. I have done these many times. All right, so so you see it on there. Please have your Felix comic art at comcast.net. Plugged into the email that you're going to send, and you got the subject right there. I am going to show the first lot, And the first one here is lot number 2. So that's a Batman sketch. It's 6 by 9 inches, and it is for $400.
Yeah.
Get your emails in.
Just a sea of ink on this 6 by 9 piece. I'm a sucker for I'm just a sucker for that kind of ink. So, yep, 6 by 9, lot 2. And again, Stegman's sketch list is well, it's claimed. Okay, so Stegman's sketch list is all full. He's not taking another one for a long time. This is it. He doesn't sketch at shows anymore either. Sorry, guys. That goes to
right.
it goes to a guy named George Chan. Congratulations, George.
Yeah.
I have some backups there anyway. George turns out to be a fake person. Okay, yeah, that's congratulations. That's an awesome piece. That's my favorite one, probably. Batman.
I agree. Well, we got 3 more to go. So the next one I'm pulling up on the screen is lot number 1. This is a cable sketch for $200.
I think I screwed up the pricing on that one, but in any case, congratulations, a full figure cable from Ryan Stegman. Anybody?
If nobody picks this one up, I'm going to buy it.
Oh, it's claimed.
I didn't think it would last.
Yeah, it's claimed. All right, it's claimed. Congratulations. Let's move on.
All right, 2 more to go. This is a doozy.
That's
Lot number 3. Yeah.
Ryan Stegman Venom. That's lot number 3.
That's a good one. I like that one.
And that is claimed.
All right, so we've got 1 more artwork to go. And
This one is a doozy in the parlance of Comic Art Live, right?
from something that's very near and dear to my entire family's heart, I'm going to show this one now. A piece of My Hero Academia. I really love this. 9 by 12 for $600. That's
Full figure.
awesome, Ryan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
finished. I mean that. Okay, it's been claimed. All right, we're done. But that cable is like a little looser. This thing is
Right.
it's like
This is
cover
my family's favorite show. I have to tell you, Ryan. When I saw
Mine
that, man,
too.
I was like, "Oh gosh, I am so excited to see that." That was phenomenal.
compared
Yeah.
size-wise to it's bigger. Not too. I mean, again, when we took Ryan Stegman's commission list, I think we've taken 2 or 3, all bus only, no full figures. So yeah, to get a full figure piece like this, thank you so much, Ryan. Ryan is super busy, and this is no joke. It was down to the wire, for him to finish these, FedEx them to me overnight. Just got them. I stayed up all night, scanning everyone's Otley, Stegman. We got it in, Bill. We did it. We did it. So right.
yeah, thanks, Ryan, man. That's
No problem.
this has been a lot of fun, and congratulations on the sales to everybody who picked them up, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Congratulations,
Yeah, thanks, guys.
all you winners. This is my favorite. I mean, Stegman Batman doesn't get to do DC. Someone really lucked out on a really well-priced full figure cable. Congratulations, and of course, the big one. Yep, My Hero Academia, which I don't know anything about, but like you say, Bill,
You need to. It's the only show that my entire family sits down and watches. It's a phenomenal show. I mean, the story's great, characters are great. I mean, there's not one flaw in that show at all. So yeah, you got to check it out if you haven't. And if anybody in the audience hasn't checked it out, you really got to.
All right, I'm going back to back 3 in a row. This caffeine is doing me good right now. So yeah, let's go. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks so much.
No problem. Thank you.